walking is not weak. It is wise. It is fat burning, brain clearing, hormone friendly, and something that almost everyone can do. As a matter of fact, I am itching to go for a walk right now. Do I care that it's 90 degrees? No.
Gaining belly fat in perimenopause and menopause, even while eating trim healthy and doing all the right things? Feeling exhausted, inflamed, and so done with the scale? Hey, I'm Chris Honeycutt, Jesus follower, trim healthy coach, and your midlife hype girl. I believe God didn't design you to live stuck, bloated, or burned out. This podcast helps you partner with your hormones, ditch the belly fat, and finally feel strong, calm, and confident in a body you actually enjoy living in. Hey friend, before we dive in, if you're in perimenopause or menopause and feeling stuck with stubborn belly fat, low energy, or eating right but not seeing results, I created something just for you. Join me for the Beat the Belly Fat Workshop, a free 3-day event to reset your body, restore your hope, and partner with God in your midlife health. It's happening September 29th through October 1st, and you can grab your spot at getyourtrimon.com/workshop. I would love to see you there.
Why cardio isn't the queen anymore? I would say that it probably never should have been the queen before, but as a young personal trainer, or a kid growing up in the 80s, personal trainer in the 90s and beyond, that was what we had going on. As a matter of fact, my sister sent me this ridiculous picture of this lady in this very skimpy outfit with tights on and leg warmers, and it was called the 20-minute workout. And she was like, do you remember us doing that? And honestly, I didn't remember that particular exercise, but I did remember a lot of Jane Fonda and a lot of aerobics. And then as a trainer, I went into teaching exercise classes, and that's what I taught. Cardio, step, more cardio. Rarely did we did some circuit classes back then, but basically everything was cardio. In menopause, in perimenopause, more cardio does not equal more fat loss or calorie burn. More cardio actually equals more cortisol, which gives you more belly fat, especially when your hormones are shifting. And it can also put a lot of wear and tear on your joints and your ligaments. More cardio is not the answer. And I like to say the right amount of cardio, which honestly could be your walking, and it could also be a little bit of high intensity training. So what I'm going to talk about today is in perimenopause and menopause, estrogen and progesterone decline, but cortisol increases. And chronic cardio, like long jogs or high impact classes that are longer than 20 minutes, bike rides where you are getting your heart rate up for 45 minutes to an hour on the elliptical, the stair climber, those can overtax your adrenals, and it is not an efficient workout. I don't know about you, but my personality loves to be efficient. And if I think anything is wasting time, I am like, no thanks. I do not have time to waste. So let's be efficient with our exercise. The cardio can backfire, and your body will actually hold on to fat to protect you from perceived stress. So we just need to have a different strategy in this midlife season. And that would be, let's put cardio on the back burner for a little bit, and let's look at the real queen, the real needle mover, which is going to be your strength training. If somebody comes to me and they're not doing anything at all, the first thing I have them do is everyday movement, is start walking or moving your body. Depending on where they are in that spectrum, we get the everyday movement down. And that's very important, you guys. Very, very important for blood sugar regulation. Very important in even adding calorie expenditure. You're going to burn up to 200 or 300 extra calories a day with that everyday movement. You're going to be better spent with something like a leisure walk, or maybe a whole body vibration plate session, or a rebounding session, or a light bike ride, or a light swim, or a dance session than you would a 30-minute go for a jog or some type of cardio exercise. The strength training is going to be your BFF in menopause. So once we get the everyday movement going, the next thing I do is say, let's start with one 15-minute strength training session a week. One a week. Let's do that for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I want you to double that. After 2 more weeks, I want you to double that. And I want you to give yourself at least 2 days in between those workouts. After about 4 to 6 weeks, let's move up to one 30-minute workout and 2 15-minute workouts. See how I am progressing? This is what I do for you inside of my group coaching or my one-on-one coaching program is I help you build an exercise program that meets you where you are. I do this in my tribe as well, more in a broad sense in here's some guidelines. And that's what I'm trying to help you do here. We want to start where your body needs to start, or else you're not going to be able to sustain some type of weight training workout if you haven't started with the everyday movement or you haven't built up. Strength training is your BFF because it builds muscle, which boosts your metabolism even at rest. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to be burning as you're sitting there at your desk. If you have more fat, you're going to be burning less calories. If you have more muscle, you're going to be boosting metabolism. Muscle also improves insulin sensitivity, which is probably one of the number one reasons why we are storing belly fat. We want to use that muscle because muscle acts as a sponge to get the excess glucose out that's floating around that's going to be stored as fat. So goodbye sugar crashes and cravings when we become more insulin sensitive, and that is beautiful muscle building. Ditch all the other things that you're doing that aren't needle movers, and let's go with our strength training.
Hey friends, quick story before we get started. My client Jean said, I didn't know how to renew my mind or how important strength training was. But after coaching and showing up for herself, Jean lost 20 pounds, gained strength, and slid into a smaller pair of jeans, feeling like a skinny mini. More importantly, she found freedom in her mindset and confidence in her trim healthy lifestyle, even while visiting family and babysitting grandkids. If you want that kind of shift, join me for the Beat the Belly Fat Workshop, a free 3-day reset happening September 29th through October 1st. Grab your spot now at getyourtrimon.com/workshop.
It also supports bones and joints as our estrogen drops. And this tells your body that we're strong, we're not stressed. So here is what it looks like. If you were just starting out, you want to start with body weight exercises, something like the work-ins, something like maybe some calisthenics. There's so many things, of course, on the internet, YouTube. I love the Trim Healthy membership and the workouts there. I've got my own workouts as well inside my group coaching, inside my tribe, and even some freebies inside YouTube. And every month in Tribe, I have a new workout series that's come out for specifically strength training. But let's just say we are shooting for 2 strength training full body sessions per week. That's a great place to start. Once you've got your basic strength, 2 times a week, and we want to focus on some lower body compound movements such as squats and lunges, rows, and even some push-ups. These are going to help build muscle in the larger muscle groups that are going to help impact your metabolism. We want to lift weights. At first, tubes and bands are great. Pilates reformer at first are great, but there are studies that show that dumbbells eventually are going to be the best needle mover for building muscle for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. And how you determine how much weight you lift is that the last 3 repetitions should be difficult, and you should be able to do maybe 3 or 4 more. If you can do 30 repetitions, your weight is going to be too light. Now, there are some times that we are going to shoot for a higher rep, lower weight workout, but that's more strategy and not let's just pick up this weight and for 30 repetitions, wear and tear on our joints. No, we want to lift heavy so that the last 3 are difficult. So remember this, muscle is your metabolic gold. And if you're afraid of bulking up, I can almost, maybe there's 0.1% of you that could bulk in midlife, not many. You will get strong and you will shape up, but you will not bulk up. Without those hormones, you guys, it's very difficult to bulk up. Some of you might have a propensity to build muscle, but even that, you can recomp. You can work on the areas on your body, your muscle composition based on how you bulk. So for instance, I build muscle well now that I have gotten adequate protein and I'm on hormone replacement therapy and I'm lifting several times a week. And so there are certain areas that I focus on that I'm going to not focus on some other areas where I tend to get bigger. That is easily done for each particular person based on what your goals are. But we want to lift. Now, one of the most underrated exercises is walking. I want to say that walking is magic for so many reasons. It lowers cortisol and it clears brain fog. I tell you, I'm addicted to walking twice a day. As a matter of fact, I am itching to go for a walk right now. Do I care that it's 90 degrees? No. Now, I love going in the morning when it still may be warm, but it's shady. And I clear my head and I get the energy going, and it's a medicinal, and also it's so good for my body to get moving first thing in the morning. And then I love to do that afternoon walk. Sometimes it's too hot, so I'm walking on my walking pad, which, by the way, I love. Is it boring? Yes. Am I getting my steps in? Yes. So it's going to lower cortisol and it can reduce brain fog. So if you're getting kind of caught up with brain fog, take a walk, go outside. Next, it supports your lymphatic flow and detox. That's another reason why I'm doing 2 walks a day. I'm really trying to support my liver in these days where I'm giving it more supplements and I'm giving it hormone replacement therapy. So you better believe I'm going to make sure my liver is happy with the things that I need to do to keep it working properly. And walking is one of them. Walking helps you burn fat without spiking stress. Isn't that amazing? I love that. And then when you walk, you can also enjoy nature. You can also do some deep breathing. You can work on that parasympathetic nervous system and calm your body. Yes, even while you are walking. So these are my favorite real life tips. Let's do post-meal walks. 10 minutes are powerful for blood sugar. You can break it up. It's better in midlife, not a rule here. It's just better to break up that 30-minute walk to 3 10-minute walks. And how I like to do that is after breakfast, after lunch, even after dinner, or maybe just at the end of my workday. And you know what I do sometimes when I walk? Well, I created Marco Polo groups in my group coaching, which this is where the magic happens because everybody gets to have their little small community, but I have my own small community in Marco Polo. So I Marco Polo my friends. I listen to podcasts. I pray. I declare God's truth. It is just a time that I am really giving back to myself. And so making sure that you're getting that walk in or just everyday movement is going to count for that. So here's what I want to say. Walking is not weak. It is wise. It is fat burning, brain clearing, hormone friendly, and something that almost everyone can do. Now, we are going to talk now about recovery and how important recovery is and resetting when you need to. If you are exhausted, if you are pushing it, we want to use rest and recovery as a strategy. Muscles grow when you rest. Isn't that interesting? So if you are in a very busy season and you have low energy levels, maybe shorten your workouts to 15 minutes twice a week and give yourself 3 days. Yes, 3 days in between. I know your brain's going to say this is not enough. It is enough. And your body will respond because recovery is important. Restoration is important. That's when your muscles grow. That's when you're releasing and lowering cortisol. That's when you're giving your body that time to restore. So we want to restore before we do more. So at the end of this is what we should be shooting for: 2 to 3 strength training sessions per week. Recovery is very important. If you can give yourself about 2 days in between those strength training sessions, that's going to be best for the midlife body. Walking daily, even 10 to 15 minutes counts, and it will be very helpful. And prioritizing your rest and your recovery is also very important. And then what do we do with those other exercises that you might like to do, like rebounding or whole body vibration play or Pilates or yoga or things like that? You can definitely put those in here and there. But the needle mover exercise for your weight loss, for your metabolism, for your longevity is going to be that strength training. And it's also going to be that everyday movement. So I just want to remind you, I, in the past, was very punishing and restricting on my body, thinking that I needed to do that to be in shape and be able to be the size I wanted to. And that was how you grew muscle and that was how you gained health. But what I learned was actually it began to backfire on me. And I've had to totally relearn a new way of exercise. And that's why I'm so grateful for the Trim Healthy Wisdom book, for Flipping 50, who I'm certified with, for Dr. Stacy Sims, who I'm also certified as a menopause specialist with, because what I've learned is paying off for myself and many clients. And here's what I want to leave us with. It isn't about punishing your body. It's about partnering with God to steward your body well. He did not design our body to break down in midlife. We need something different. We need a shift. And that's what we want. We need shift and we need strategy. I love the scripture, Isaiah 40, that those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. So let this be a season where you renew your strength, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. Did you know that I have a free community of women in midlife just like you? Busy women who are working hard to lose weight with the Trim Healthy plan, but feel hijacked by hormones and unexplained weight gain. I share menopause tips, superfood spotlights, delicious recipes, and so much more. Come join us at facebook.com/groups/get-your-trim-on. Hey, Midlife Mama. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who may be struggling to lose weight in menopause without confusion and overwhelm? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It blesses me to know this podcast is helping you. Time to grab my protein smoothie and head to the pickleball court. I'll meet you back here on Wednesday for another episode. See ya!